to go live on there. I'm always grateful that some of you join me on YouTube, although it's not as many. Hello, going live to answer questions on a Monday again. Hope you guys have had a great weekend and a good start to your week. We definitely have. We had a really relaxing weekend. We took Pat out to eat after church yesterday, just trying to fix this. And the weather has been so nice. It is finally cooling down. Last week was brutally hot and humid, and this week it's like 76 degrees outside right now, but the humidity is very low, so I'll be going for probably 3 walks a day, and it's just so nice. Good morning. So I'm just here to answer any questions that you guys might have. One person on YouTube, hello, good morning. Hope you came with your questions. Good morning, everyone. Let's see what else is going on. I am interviewing Kelly Hogan tomorrow. Really excited about that. Kelly is, she's just one of my favorite people. I've actually not ever met her in person, and she has an incredible, inspiring transformation. She is definitely a more strict carnivore. She's had carnivore pregnancies, and she's a believer. And she's just one of those people who, she's a good person. She is so encouraging and inspiring. So she's going to be at my fall retreat, and so I'm super excited to spend time with her. She will be there with us the whole time. Hey, Karen. And I'm just really excited. So I'll be interviewing Kelly tomorrow. I'm going live with Dr. Chafee the 16th of September. It's a Saturday. Excuse me, if I got that right. And we'll be doing a live question and answer here on Instagram. So that'll be really cool. And yeah, work has been getting busier. I think people are subconsciously getting ready for the holidays and all that entails, and wanting to be stronger and maybe not fall into the same rabbit holes as last year. For whatever reason, I'm very grateful for it and excited for all the new people that I'm working with. Thank you, I appreciate it. It is quite a baby bump now. We have our anatomy ultrasound coming up, which is not at our regular doctor's office, it's at a hospital. And I think we're gonna get like the most accurate pictures so far. So we're really excited for that. I also went back to CrossFit. For the first time in a long time, because it's cooler outside, and that was so much fun. So I'm still actually calming down from that. Any suggestions on getting better from non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? Lower insulin. I see this all the time. I work with people with it all the time. Sometimes it's not even the primary concern. So non-alcoholic fatty liver usually occurs with just elevated insulin, and so a low-carb diet would be optimal. I personally think low carb closer to carnivore is optimal, because there are a lot of things that are low carb that are still not great for you. You know, spinach, for example. Baby spinach is so high in oxalate, it's not going to help you. It can very likely cause issues for you. So highly recommend animal-based and cutting out the processed foods. Smells so good. This is the vanilla Noack balm. It smells, I mean, it really has vanilla in it, vanilla extract, and it just smells to me like vanilla icing. I love this company. This is the first tallow balm product that I ever discovered, and it's my favorite to put on my face. I use the unscented one on my face. It's incredible. But the vanilla one I like to put on my body because obviously I like to smell good. Oh, and we will be having these in every one of my gift bags at the retreat, Noahic Balm. So they have a lot of different scents now, and so I'll just be doing a variety of those. Let's see, any other updates? The cookbook is coming along slowly. I have a lot of different things that demand my attention right now, or not demand, but require. So I finished my shoemaker course, my shoemaker protocol for SIRS. Finished it, but I am taking it again because that's how I learn. I think it's really important, you know, I understand it, but I want to be able to teach it really well, and that means I want to go through it multiple times. So that requires, you know, I usually spend an hour to 2 hours on that each day, and then writing my cookbook in between calls and stuff like that. Hopefully it'll be done before the baby comes. We'll see. I might have to ask Robin to help me finish it up, but we'll see. Lots of really cool recipes in there though. Any questions? Marianne on YouTube says, I recently did a 2-day egg yolk fast, plus electrolytes. I always get heart palps at night when getting into ketosis. I think it's candida flare-up, so I take oil of oregano. Any thoughts? So oregano oil is good for candida, definitely not something that you want to take long term. I only use it in sort of a protocol because everyone responds differently. If you use oregano oil for weeks and weeks and weeks, you can actually do yourself more harm, especially with candida. Candida can actually asexually reproduce, which means like it's just singular, and it will reproduce and become resistant to oregano oil, just like it can to antibiotics. So I would definitely recommend not doing that week after week after week. With the heart palpitations, check out my carnivore insomnia video on YouTube. Try my butter trick. Just take a couple bites of pure fat. That, not only will that send the signal to your body that it wants to run on fat and that it has plenty and that it's not starving, but fat can also lower cortisol. People always talk about carbohydrates lowering cortisol. Well, fat does that too. Fat raises your serotonin. So definitely would recommend, you know, if you're having heart palpitations in the middle of the night, check out, are you eating enough fat? Check out your protein, fat to protein ratio. And then you say you're taking electrolytes, but I'm not sure if you're doing enough. So when you're getting into ketosis, you say you're getting the heart palpitations. And so that to me says that you're not quite fat adapted. Fat adaptation can raise your cortisol, it can raise your adrenaline. Once you're adjusted and adapted, that won't happen. So my first recommendation is to do the fat trick. Check out the carnivore insomnia video, and I think that will help. Wish I could come close to applying makeup like you, glam girl. I made a makeup tutorial video. It is literally, I mean, I don't wear anything on my face, it's just my eye makeup. And this is an Almay for green eyes eyeshadow palette. That's it. I line with it. And it's just really fun. It's just 2 colors. I skip 2 of the colors in the palette. It's really easy. You literally just take a brush for the shadow. You want to do like a, you know, like one of these shapes on the outside of your eyes, and then you just want bright on the inside. And you can do that with so many different colors. I use the same ones though, because I like them. but thank you for that. And I do have a tutorial. Do you know if vitamin A can affect thyroid in a negative way? If you have vitamin A toxicity, yes. But just regular vitamin A, no. I drank my seltzer way too fast, so I'm actually pretty burpy right now. Excuse me. I eat mostly full carnivore with just a minimal amount of fruit as well, such as berries. Usually about 1 cup per day. Will this put my body out of ketosis? So it really depends on the individual. Once upon a time, I did not tolerate even 15 grams of carbs. I didn't even tolerate more protein because it would kick me out of ketosis. Today, I ate an apple and sourdough bread after my eggs, and I'm in deep ketosis still. And I check with breath ketones, and I check with my glucometer. I no longer use blood ketones because those blood ketones measure the amount of fat that it has the potential to be oxidized. When you're testing your breath, it measures what has been oxidized. So breath is much more accurate. So for you, I don't think a cup of berries would kick you out of ketosis. However, if you're not sleeping, if you're under a lot of stress, if you have been struggling to get fat adapted, it might be an issue. Usually it's not going to be an issue, especially if you're eating protein and fat first. Always lead with protein and fat. Fat first is one of my top tips. You know, whatever you put into your mouth after you've been fasting sends a signal to your body, this is what you're going to use for fuel. And so if you put even, a lot of people like to do lemon juice in their warm water in the morning. Guess what? That lemon juice has a little bit of glucose, and if you've been fasting overnight, 10 hours, 12 hours, your body can see that glucose and register, okay, I guess I'm burning glucose for fuel today. So that's why I like to recommend, eat a couple nibbles of pure fat upon waking, or at least 30 minutes within waking. So yeah. How would you go about healing hypothyroid? Antibodies are not high. Well, it's good that it doesn't seem like it's autoimmune. Hypothyroidism, it's more like a symptom. It's not a root cause. Hypothyroidism happens because there's something else going on. So are you eating enough? Do you have any deficiencies, primarily in zinc, selenium, or iodine? That's where I would start. Excuse me. How long will it take to get fat adapted, and how much fat should we eat if we need some serious gut healing? I have a video on fat adaptation that I would check out. It's actually a more recent video. I think it really helps to clear up some misconceptions about fat adaptation. When people hear that term, a lot of people seem to think I'm talking about digestion. That term was not coined to speak to digestion of fat. It's talking about what your body is using as fuel, what your body is oxidizing for fuel. So how long does it take? It depends on the individual. It depends on, are you sleeping at night? Do you have stressful situations going on? Because those things can interfere. It can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 months is typically what I see. Less usual is it 3 months, but it can happen. Some people are in, their central nervous systems need healing. They're underweight, which makes it more difficult because you don't have as much body fat on your body. Sometimes you've got to reverse some insulin resistance. So there are lots of different layers, and it looks different. And then how much fat should you eat if you need serious gut healing? So minimal is between 50 and 80 grams of fat per day to absorb your vitamins. I think around 100 is really great if you're wanting to heal your gut. 100 or higher. I've never actually checked my ketone level. What would be the best way for me to start checking them? So I would recommend, there's a monitor that I am affiliated with. It's called Fora Care. And it tests, the same meter tests your glucose and ketones. It tests blood ketones though. If you want to check your breath ketones, you could either get a breath meter, or you could get a lumen device, which is what I decided to go with, because lumen measures the level of carbon dioxide in your breath. So not only does it tell me how much fat I'm burning, but it also tells me when I'm running on carbs and what percentage of each I'm running on. The truth is, everyone is always dual fueling. Like if you're talking technical, literal, we're always burning some level of glucose and some level of fat. And so instead of just a regular acetone breath meter, there are some really good ones. The Tone device is a great one by Ketogenic Girl, but I'm not interested in that. I personally am not like trying to hit therapeutic levels of ketones. I just want to know that I am metabolically flexible and burning fat most of the time. So my Lumen device, I wish I had it with me. It's really cool. It's like really sleek, really well made, seriously. It comes with an app. You breathe into it, and the app will count you down and everything. And then it will break down the percentage of carbs and fat that you're burning. And it's super easy to use. If you're burning carbs more than fat, but you're on a low carb diet, not only does it tell that to you, but it will help you troubleshoot what's going on. So you could be fasting too much. You could be waiting too long after your workout to eat. You could be dehydrated. Like it will prompt you. It'll ask you, well, what did you eat today? What time did you go to bed last night? It will take you through these things. So I love the Lumen device if you're interested in monitoring fat burning. My discount code is tailored, I think. And that thing is awesome. Another thing you could do if you don't have the finances or the interest of testing your ketones, but you still want to kind of dig into this data, start with a glucometer. You could get the Contour Next one is one of the top rated just glucometers for diabetics because it's very precise and consistent. Unfortunately, these things are not always consistent. I was just talking with my mom and my aunt who is type 1 diabetic. She got a continuous glucose monitor and it says that her blood sugar is going up when she uses her regular glucometer. It says it's going down. And so for a type 1 diabetic to get mismatched readings, it's really dangerous because if she would have given herself insulin but it was actually going down, that's a problem. So definitely be careful which brands you link up with. Be sure that it's a good brand. So Lumen is what I recommend if you just want to do glucometer. I really like the Contour Next one. You can get it from Amazon or Walmart. I don't have a discount code for that. Ideas to replace a traditional birthday cake. Okay, so first thing that comes to my mind is Kelly Hogan's recipe, which is called Oopsie Cake. I had a couple bites of this at my last retreat. I'm sure they'll make it again this retreat. And it has no sweeteners, but it's made with eggs, cream cheese, and heavy cream. And it is so delicious. It is more delicious than cake with sweetener. Other things you could do, what is this person like? Like for Tyler's birthday, last year or the year before, I made him a carnivore ice cream cake. So I made my carnivore brownies, I layered it with carnivore ice cream. All of that was made with prime protein. And then I made these chocolates, also made from prime protein and cacao butter. And it was like a chocolate Pikachu. So I layered it up, put it in a heart-shaped dish, put a chocolate Pikachu on top. It was delicious and awesome. You can also just whip up heavy cream with chocolate and make a chocolate mousse. I did that one year for his birthday. So you could do chocolate or vanilla with prime protein. They have chocolate, vanilla, peanut butter, strawberry, salted caramel now. They have unflavored. I highly recommend them. I make my carnivore blondies, my carnivore brownies. I even make carnivore donut holes with that protein powder. So that is a really great option. But the good news is the only thing you have to replace is the flour. We have the eggs, we have the butter, we have the heavy cream. Like those are the best parts of cake and you don't need the flour. So, oh, my birthday is September 6th. Well, congratulations, it's coming up. Yeah, so what is your favorite flavor? And go from there. Do you want cake? Do you want ice cream cake? There are so many varieties of the ways that you can use this protein powder. Excuse me. How do you know if you have leaky gut? One of the most obvious symptoms is if you're seeing whole pieces of food pass in your stool. Now that's not the same as if you're eating nuts and seeds. Those are not easily digested, so you'll probably see those in your stool. I'm talking about if you're carnivore and you're still seeing whole pieces of meat that look like they're unchewed in your stool. That is a good sign. You could be dealing with food intolerance. You know, you're sensitive to foods. You definitely feel poorly when you eat a lot of different things. Fatigue, poor digestion, excess weight loss or excess weight gain. One or the other. Actually could be leaky gut. There are a lot of different things. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I saw your interview. Oh, hello. I saw your interview with Ribeye Rachel. She used visualization to help her heal that when carnivore wasn't enough. Thoughts? Yeah, I made a video on visualization as well, and I'm thinking of making another one. Actually, I've been praying about it. Christ already has led us to use visualization, so I don't really think that like what is your definition of brain retraining, right? We have a lot of experts out there now offering classes and groups on DNRS and brain retraining and visualization. And if you really look at it, the science of it, it's all the same thing. And Christ, God in the scripture, commands us to renew our minds and transform not to the world, but to the word, what the word says. And so that is something that I use in my practice regularly. When I'm coaching and someone has a negative cycle of thinking, or they're speaking negatively, or even things like, you know, Hashimoto's. Say this person has Hashimoto's. When I catch someone saying my Hashimoto's over and over, my, I will correct them with love and say, I want to encourage you to say the. You know, don't claim that. Don't claim that as who you are, your identity, or don't even claim it for yourself. It's not yours. It's just something you're dealing with and overcoming. And the way that we speak is very important. So that's a part of renewing the mind. Visualization is a part of prayer. It's a part of correcting those negative thoughts. It's a part of sitting and realizing, okay, God's word is true. God says that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. What does that look like? What does that mean for my life? I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to seek God. I'm going to continue reading his word, which tells me about myself. That works. And I don't think you need to buy a program to do it. So that's how I feel. I think that a lot of programs out there are great and helpful, but they do require a lot of time, you know, an hour each day of visualization. And I've had a lot of clients who did it and they're just like, my relationship with God has helped more than this immensely. So to each their own. But Ribeye Rach makes a good point that when someone goes carnivore, if someone has optimal nutrition, but they're not addressing their thinking patterns, their belief systems, you can't achieve wellness. You can't achieve full health. Our thoughts are manifested. We actually become what we speak, and what we think becomes what we speak. From the heart, the mouth speaks. And so all of that has to be addressed, whether it be with brain retraining, visualization, DNRS, or renewing your mind with the Word of God. I prefer renewing my mind with the Word of God every day, but to each their own. I hope that makes sense. I have lots of notes on making a video on that, and I just don't want to put anyone down who likes those courses. I just don't think they're always necessary. I don't think it's the only option. I really believe that God has provided for all that we need. For my husband's birthday, I cooked him 4 burgers in a stack to look like a small cake with melted cheese between all the layers. Then it had a pound of crispy bacon around the plate. That sounds awesome. That sounds like my dinner the other day. Excuse me. Eyes of your heart, using our God-created imagination to see ourselves healed in the arms of the Trinity family. Yeah. So things that helped me with visualization was, you know, just seeing myself as a strong woman who had a period. Like, I didn't have my cycle for 16 years, and so there was this part of me that was like, I don't expect to ever get it back. That's a long time. And I got it back, and I'm pregnant. And so I would visualize things like that. I would visualize myself in the gym lifting heavier than I was able to. I would visualize myself playing with my niece. And all those things happened eventually. Rebecca, how was your first year of benzos? I'm 5 months off and still experiencing so many side effects. Give me hope. So first of all, I want to say congratulations for making it that far. That's huge. Getting off of benzodiazepines was maybe, I don't even know if it was the first or second hardest thing I've ever done, but it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. The chronic C. diff was probably the hardest thing I've ever dealt with. It was horrifying. I could not gain weight to save my life, and that went on for years. The benzodiazepines was a different type of horrific. So I'm proud of you for making it that far and for making the decision to get off of them. I struggled with getting off of those for a long time. I was down to like a 16th of a pill. Like, it had to be placebo at this point. It had to be, but it was like a crumb. And I still needed it. Like, that was a hard drug to get off of. And I definitely had extreme withdrawal. I had to move back in with my parents. I was having such a hard time. And there were instances where they pretty much said, look, if you want to stay here, you're going to have to take this because you are like impossible to be around if you're not taking these. I really struggled. And so I say all that to say, not to scare you, but to say you're not alone. Benzodiazepines are really intense. I had a second wind of withdrawals after a year of being off of them. It was like the second year that I was off. I started getting those symptoms again. It was like, what is this? Benzodiazepines change it can change your neural pathways. And so it can take time to recover from that, which is why it's so important to go slowly. Please don't go cold turkey, ever, with benzodiazepines or antidepressants. You really need time to go slowly. And so for you, I would say, prioritize your nutrition, prioritize your support systems, and hone in on anything that gives you joy. I would watch funny YouTube comedy skits before I went to bed, even though I had insomnia. I have tons of playlists from those dark days just to get me through. Music is very encouraging, powerful. So I hope you have a good support system. Keep it up, and be sure that your nutrition is on point. Be sure you're getting lots of animal fats and animal proteins. You need both of them. By the way, I have to go at 12 o'clock, and I think that's probably coming up, so I'll hang around for like 5 more minutes. Or if anyone has the time, that would be helpful. How do you use apple cider vinegar for hair, for scalp only? Thank you, Rebecca. So that's what I do. I clarify with apple cider vinegar maybe once every 2 months, not often. Apple cider vinegar can help to break up any sebum, which is something that can build up on your scalp. I don't wash my hair. For those of you who haven't heard it already, I have not washed my hair since November of 2022, and it's never been better. All I do is clarify with apple cider vinegar. I literally take the bottle and dump it on my head for a second. It's like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons on my scalp. You can feel it tingle. I mean, it kind of tingles and it just runs down, and it's obviously cold and you're in the hot shower. So I just make sure that it gets all over my scalp, and I rub it like this to be sure that I'm breaking up sebum. I also have a scalp brush. It's a circular thing. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you for the congrats. My name is Rebecca, by the way, though. A lot of people get that wrong. No problem. Is a liver supplement like grassland nutrition or perfect supplements okay to take if you have hypothyroidism? Yeah, definitely. I think that would be a good idea. Definitely. 11:56. Thank you so much. All right, so I'll take like one more question and then I should go. I was going to go longer, but then I took another half-hour call, so it's just the way it is today. Maybe I'll go live again if I have time this week. Any other questions? Hey, Chloe. 37 weeks. Yeah, I remember you. I remember your username. You're almost there. Am I starting to get a belly? Yeah, girl, I have a belly. I definitely have a belly. It's hard, too. Thoughts on collagen powder supplements? It never beats the natural form of collagen. So collagenous cuts from Billy Joe Meats are my favorite way to get collagen, but I like collagen supplements because they taste good. Like I like using the peanut butter collagen by Perfect Keto, the chocolate collagen by Equip Foods. So it's not worthless, but the natural form is better. Why does eating sugar cause gout-like symptoms? Mainly because of the insulin effect. Insulin really is at the root of everything if you look into it. There's a book called Why We Get Sick by Dr. Ben Bickman, and it's all about hyperinsulinemia and how it's at the root of everything. People who get gout will complain when they go keto or carnivore because it gets worse, but then it gets better. I promise it gets better. And it's because you're removing the sugar and your insulin's getting lower and there's less inflammation and irritation to your body. After eating primarily meat-based, why is eating sugar causing gout-like symptoms? Because sugar can cause gout. Because it's probably raising your insulin a little too much. I've had some cheats. How long do you think it will take for my gut to feel better? It depends on what those cheats were and how frequently you're doing them. It also depends on what you're doing when you're not cheating. Are you really eating in a way to support your gut healing? That would be a great example of someone who I would encourage reach out for coaching, because you're asking for specifics or get health back to a healthy biome. It has to depend on the person. Some people have long-term standing candida infections. I had candida for 8 years. So I can't tell someone like that, oh, it'll take you 2 weeks, because it won't. You probably fed the candida and that could take much longer than 2 weeks. So it really depends on the person and the situation. Colostrum better than collagen? Colostrum is not collagen, so you can't really say is it better. It's just different. Colostrum is very nutrient dense. I don't recommend colostrum supplements usually because a lot of them have sugar, but it's not a bad thing. Colostrum has huge potential healing benefits. Wow, you waddle. That's so cute. All right. What are the candida symptoms? Okay, this is the last question because I do have a call. Itchy scalp is one of them. Foot fungus, bloating after you eat, like pretty much anything, you bloat, and then fatigue. Those are the top symptoms of candida. Oh, and white film on your tongue. Those are probably the main ones. All right, guys, I'm sorry that I have to hop off so quickly. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that it feels more like fall where you're at because it's glorious here. And if you have more questions, please feel free to shoot me a message, and I will try to help you out. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.